Hi, this is Heidi Cooper with Widener University's SW674 Spirituality and Social Work class. I met with Jazzy, who is a hip hop artist, dancer, and that's why I chose these graphics. And I interviewed Jazzy, who chose this pseudonym for herself. She's an 18-year-old straight Caucasian female with a history of anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideation, as well as PTSD. She was a victim of child sexual assault and is a high school graduate enrolled in community college from a small town. If we were to look at Jazzy's story through the biopsychosocial model of mental health, or biopsychosocial spiritual model of mental health, perhaps, she was a presence, a pleasant presence to be with. She certainly knew her faith. She had done her homework. She really understood it. Um, and given her trauma and her development of coping skills through her faith, we can see the intersection of these different parts of her, the mental health model. She also has a single mom. She has her grandmother nearby, and a strong community and peer network. Regarding her religious traditions and spirituality, Jazzy considers herself Christian. She described her close relationship to God as the central part of her faith. Her dance is also central. She dances for God, although she appreciates all kinds of music and dance. Um, Hip hop is her main style of dancing. Um, the owners of the studio where she dances, this community is also her faith community, as evidenced by what she said during the interview, and how these leaders in the studio, the owners of the studio, have their mission for inspiring people to use dance for a greater purpose. Jazzy talked about her weaknesses as her sin and explained that she relies on the word of her faith, the teachings, the biblical teachings, more so than she relies on people. Although she will reach out to people when she's struggling who are wiser than she is or more grounded in her faith. Um, Given her personal trauma, her child sexual assault, her PTSD, she has grown in her faith, grown through these experiences, and she doesn't judge people. She realizes that Jesus reached out to everyone, and she doesn't judge people by their social ranking, but by their testimony. Um, I would offer about Christians from Jazzy's perspective, who may have undergone trauma, youth, Christian youth. Um, but from her in particular, she is a serious Christian. When I asked her about humor and how, Frankel depicted that, described how those who are experiencing deep suffering, as in Man's Search for Meaning, that sometimes they try to see things in a humorous light. She doesn't cope like that. She explained that some people may bring that kind of lightheartedness, but during struggling, she has her eyes set on a situation, and that's how she focuses on her reality. She is a mature seeker, according to Miner, and who described these elements of um, what a mature religious mindset looks like. A devout religious commitment. I definitely saw her sincerity, her willingness to question, but but still remained solid in her faith. She didn't judge those who judged her when when people judged her, she was depressed or even attempted or had suicidal ideation, who thought she wasn't a good Christian. She didn't judge those people, which shows a maturity in her spirituality, and her reaching for people who have a more solidified faith when she's struggling, shows that she her goal is to be more solid in her faith and a mature seeker. Other implications for social work practice, if we were to describe, um, this population as Christian youth or artistic youth, um, speaking with our clients about religious based opportunities when they have had trauma or PTSD, knowing the value of that, helping them find trauma informed religious communities, helping our clients access a means to explore their interest and talents, um, supporting them, knowing they can be a mature seeker regardless of their age. And I've included some things here about therapeutic movement therapy, which is a unique way of developing that therapeutic relationship. Should that be something that's a talent of yours, or something you'd like to offer to your client? At the micro, meso, and macro levels, if we looked at micro, we can see that Jazzy is a resource among her peers, who turned a personal tragedy into a triumph. She's an example within her community who turned her predicament into a human achievement. Other micro level implications could be as individuals going to school counselors or social workers, parents accessing classes in parenting. Here's a resource for parenting after divorce classes. We have a Kid Power here, which helps children aged 3 to 18 or parents to provide for their children people safety skills, to learn how to be safe. And here we have an article by Kay who talks about um, the importance of staying engaged, helping youth stay engaged with family and friends and community, because once they are disengaged, it requires stronger and more persistent outreach and more intensive services. At the medso level, I read a little bit about the UK offering. Um, there was an article about um, DHS level service positions. We may be those caseworkers. Um, and the article discussed the importance of um, being well trained in the management of higher number of caseloads, to serve this population better, and to be better at modeling the healthy therapeutic relationship. We know that when you have too many caseloads, it's harder to create that relationship. And regarding another opportunity for engagement, Garbas talks about a school community offering an opportunity for families and children, students, and educators to build a stronger community and to help engagement. Working at a macro level, um, there were there was a children's act in Wales that dictated a local safeguarding a children's board to monitor the services provided to youth in the juvenile justice system. And we also have a youth advisory board here in Colorado Springs for the DHS, in which youth can help um, it empowers youth to express their